Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Marquita here, and today I'm going to be talking about my experience with Scentbird thus far. If you are not new to the channel, you have probably seen me post videos about joining Scentbird, and I've been sharing the fragrances that I have been receiving each month. And so now I am at the 3 month mark. I just received my set of fragrances for this month, so I'm going to share those with you as well. And I'm also going to just talk about my overall experience with Scentbird and answer the age-old question: is it worth it? So before we get started, I just want to say, if you hear kind of like a roaring noise in the background, that is my AC. It's been on for a little while, so it should be kicking off shortly. It's on auto, so it should kick off shortly. But let's go ahead and get into it. So I joined Scentbird, and for those of you who are not familiar with Scentbird, it is like a subscription service for fragrances. So if you are new to fragrances, or maybe you're like me and that's just your guilty pleasure, and you want a way to be able to try fragrances without maybe spending the money on a big bottle and then finding out it's something that you don't like, Scentbird is a great way to do it. Now, it is a monthly subscription service, and you can choose whether or not you want to have one trial size per month or up to three. So the trial sizes are actually like what I would consider travel sprays, and they're supposed to be a 30-day supply. Now, of course, if you are a little bit more heavy-handed, it might not last quite as long, but the size of the vial, which I'll show you in just a moment, is pretty much equivalent to what you would buy when you buy like a travel spray of your favorite fragrance. So one of the things that I will note about Scentbird is that I think the value can definitely be good depending on what types of fragrances you are looking for. Now, one of the biggest things, I would say my biggest benefit would be being able to try or getting a travel size of a fragrance that typically either doesn't have a travel spray, or maybe I just am not able to access that particular travel spray. So I would recommend Scentbird for someone like me who enjoys fragrances and who shops for fragrances pretty frequently. I would recommend it for you if you are looking for higher end fragrances and you want to try them out before you drop $100+ on a bottle perfume that you may or may not like, or cologne if you're a guy, because Scentbird does have men and women and unisex fragrances. So you can definitely use Scentbird no matter where you stand, and what types of scents that you like. So I do love that they have a wide selection. And is it affordable? Yes, but here are some caveats to the price. So, for example, I signed up for the one vial per month subscription, which should be $16.95, and it is. However, you only get one case, and that's at the very first time that you order. So I'll go ahead and show you what I'm talking about when I say case. So on your first order, you get a very cute little package. You get a nice little cloth baggie that carried in, just says Scentbird on there. And you also get this snap-on case here in like this gray color. And this is what you hold your vial of perfume in, which again is like a travel spray. And it has a ability to lock and unlock. So right now it's closed. And then to open it, you just turn it there and then you can spray. So this was my very first fragrance and I put it in here. This is a great little hard plastic case. And it just snaps on and off. And you snap it off to put your vial in, and then you snap it back together, and you're ready to go. You can carry this in your purse, travel bag, whatever the case may be. Or you can just keep it, on your dresser or wherever you keep your fragrances. Now, the thing about that is you only get one of those, and that is included with your initial order. Going forward, your fragrances come in little tube like this, which you can use. It does have a top, which you can use to store as well. And you just pull the top off and you will see that your vial comes out. So as you can see, this is a pretty good size. This is how much you get in each one of your sprays. So it is like the amount of a travel spray here. And yes, you can still spray from this. You don't have to have it in that special case in order for it to spray. It is easier to spray in that case, I will admit that, but it still works just like this. And it is labeled, so you can see that this one is Confessions of a Rebel, Bite Me. And this is one of my scents for this month. We're going to try these in just a moment. But I just want to give you guys a little overview of what the product is like. So this is what you'll get monthly going forward after your first month. You don't get any more of the cute little cases, and you don't get the little cloth bag after your first order, unless you order one of the special editions. Sometimes they'll put the luxe fragrances or other fragrances on special where you get a case. And one example is I ordered a Valentino special that they had, and so I got this cute case along with my vow. So, and of course the baggie as well. So in that case, I ended up getting, this gave me a second case to use, and so I have it in here. Now you can order the cases separately, but it is an additional $10 each time. So for example, let's say that you want to get a case each time you order your scent. And so like for me, I'm on the 1 cent plan. So it's $16.95, and then I will add another $10 for the case. So essentially that makes it $26 or $26.95 per month for each one. And that's about the average price of a travel spray in store. So I wouldn't say that it's overpriced, but to me it's a bit of a racket. Like, why can't you just send me the case with each one? Why am I paying an additional $10? It doesn't really make it a deal in terms of if you're like, oh, I'd rather order from Scentbird because it's cheaper than buying a travel spray. It's really not, because if you add the case every time, you're paying the same amount of money as you would pay for, an average travel spray. So that's where that's kind of a con, and kind of where I look at Scentbird, like, y'all could do better. Like, you shouldn't be charging me for every case. Like, you should include the case. And there is another subscription fragrance service. I kind of said that backwards. Another fragrance subscription service that does include a case with every order. So that's something to consider if you're just kind of shopping around and you're looking at like which one's better. I would say that that might be something to take into consideration if you care about the case. Now for me, I have tons of fragrances and everything, so I'm fine with just keeping them in here and then spraying them from their regular vial. But if you like the pretty cases, just know that you'll have to pay for them. And like I said, you can get from 1 to 3 cents. So the price goes up for each one. I think 2 cents per month is like $27, and that's without the cases. That's just to get these. And of course, again, you would add $10 each time you get a case. You can set it up for that if you want. And then I forgot how much 3 was, but all of the information is on the website. It's very clearly explained, so it shouldn't be any confusion when you go to sign up, whether or not you know how much you're paying and all of that. And it is the same amount each month, unless you add something or change something. Like for example, let's say I just wanted a case this month, then of course that would be an additional $10 than normal. Or in this case, where I added a fragrance, then that was an additional amount as well. But I will say, when you do those add-ons, you typically pay for those separately and in the moment versus waiting for your subscription charge. So as long as you do it before your subscription, the normal date of your processing for your order, then it will come shipped with your and with your monthly fragrance. So like I got both of my fragrances today. They don't ship them separately, even though I ordered like the bonus fragrance probably like a week or 2 before my actual subscription and monthly subscription charge came up. So, and they didn't ship until they shipped the regular one. So I guess that's how they save on shipping or whatever, because they didn't charge me additional shipping or anything. But again, that's something, it's not like Amazon. It's not anything that you're going to get super quick. So don't be expecting to get those fragrances right away. You're going to get them. So for example, my payment is charged on the 22nd of every month. And I usually have my fragrance by like the first week of the next month. So like, for example, these are my May choices. My fragrances, my charge was on like April 22nd, and then, or I'm sorry, May 22nd. And then my fragrance just arrived today, which is June 10th. So just to give you an idea, it's usually like 1 week or so, 1 to 2 weeks between the time that you're charged and the time that you receive your shipment. And of course, shipping times may vary depending on where you're at and all of that. I'm just giving you an idea of how everything works. But now let's get into the fun part, which are the fragrances. So one of these was my regular monthly. So like I said, I'm on the fragrance per month. And so one of these was my regular monthly that I chose. And that's another thing, you can choose your fragrances. You have the like a queue. And so basically I can go through and say, okay, I want to try this one, and this one. And so what it will do is line it up for each month. So like January, February, March, like here are the first three. And so each month it will just send out whatever fragrance I have selected that I said I want to try. You can always change it as long as you do it before your cutoff processing date for that month. And you can reorder them. Like say if I had chosen, this fragrance for May, but then I just found something else and I said, oh, I want to try that right now. I can swap them again as long as you do it before your processing time cutoff. And I already have something lined up for June. Like I have them lined up, and you can line them up, as much as you want. Or you can say, hey, I'm just here trying to try out new things. I'm open to whatever. When you fill out your scent profile, when you first sign up for Scentbird, Scentbird will recommend different fragrances based on what you put on your scent profile that match that. And so if you don't want to choose a specific scent and you're just like, hey, surprise me, Scentbird will send a fragrance based on your scent profile, something that they think that you would like based on that. So you never have to worry, like if you forget to choose a fragrance, or whatnot, you're not going to not get a fragrance. You're always going to get something. It's just a matter of whether or not it's one you picked or whether it's one that Scentbird picks for you based on your profile. So let's get into the fragrances. I purchased two, like I said, one was my regular monthly and then I did an add-on, and they're both actually from the same brand this time. And the last thing you do is you do get these nice little cards that have the name of your fragrance, and it just says at the bottom your fragrance this month is. And then on the back, it has a little description about it, and it also shows the notes, which I love. So I love these little cards. That's one of my favorite things about Scentbird and what they send. And this can also kind of help you get to know like what types of notes you like, what types of fragrances. So again, if you're new to the perfume game and you're not quite sure like what do I like, what smells good on me, what works best with my body chemistry, you can have information like this to keep handy, and you kind of go back and start looking at what types of notes you like and all of that. And Scentbird also kind of updates as you do your order. It kind of gets an idea of what you like and what types of things you like. So again, those things change as you order. So it's pretty good with things like that. So this one was my pick, and this was called, this is from the brand Confessions of a Rebel, and it's called Get a Room and Order Champagne. Now, one thing that drew me to this particular one, other than the kind of sassy name, was the bottle. This is what the full-size bottle would look like. It's got that black and purple and blue. That just looks sexy. And not only that, but y'all know purple is my favorite color, so I chose this one. And then the other fragrance that I got is Confessions of a Rebel Bite Me. This was the add-on that I purchased, and it again is also same brand. It's called Bite Me, and it looks nice. This is what most of them look like. They kind of have that white, and then they have like a neon color, different colors with their title. So I kind of like the packaging for the Confessions of a Rebel lineup series, and I think that if I like these, I'll probably definitely be checking out more of this particular brand, if not through Scentbird, maybe on their own site, because they do have a sampler set as well that I was considering getting. So we'll see how these go. And since this is the first one that I picked up is Bite Me, so here we go. And the notes in this one are strawberry, red apple, vanilla orchid, jasmine, and golden rum. Now that just sounds like a wonderful combination. I typically like sweet and floral or sweet and fruity fragrances, so we'll see how this works. And again, with these, you just spray. And this is the spray here, and you just spray it just like any other travel spray. I think my other perfume that I had on earlier today is gone, so I'll just go ahead and put a little bit on my hand. Oh yes, I get the sweet right away. Strawberry definitely comes through as for me, that would be the initial hit. And honestly, that's how they describe it. They say that sweet strawberry flirts with red apple, and that's how it initially starts out. And that's what I'm getting. And then the vanilla is coming through. And for those who are new here, jasmine is like my all-time favorite scent note and my favorite like scent in general. So pretty much any fragrance that has jasmine in it, I tend to migrate to. And for the most part, I tend to like them. So now I'm definitely getting the vanilla as it settles. So those would be like your middle notes would be like vanilla and jasmine. And the top notes were strawberry and red apple, which I definitely got the strawberry right off the gate. So we'll let it sit, and then the golden rum is like the final, the bottom note, and it's definitely coming through the more it settles. So we'll let that sit. We'll look at the other one, and then we'll do another sniff test and see how it changed. Bite me. And I can definitely see myself wearing it. Hey y'all, editing Marquita here, and I just wanted to note that I did take Confessions of a Rebel Bite Me out on a little test drive with the scent. I went out just running errands, and one of the stores I went to, the cashier, who I wasn't even that close to at the time, first he was like, "You're wearing Bath and Body Works, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Huh?" And he could smell the fragrance, and I actually wasn't, it was somebody in front of me that was paying, so I was actually, you know, a little bit further back from the register. I wasn't right there in front of him, and so he could definitely smell the fragrance, and so he complimented me on it. He really liked it. He was saying it smelled really good. And so if you're ever wondering about you know, how it projects, or, you know, longevity, I would say that Bite Me does pretty well, because I had been out for about 2 hours at that point, and I just did a regular, like I usually just spray on my arms. I have on a short sleeve shirt, so sprayed my arms and just kind of around my shirt that I was wearing. So I would definitely say Confessions of a Rebel definitely did it. And I told him, I said, you know, this is a new perfume and I was just trying it out. And he said, oh yeah, I just wanted to see how well it worked. And he said, oh, it's working. So just in case you're wondering. So let's check out Get a Room, Confessions of a Rebel, Get a Room, and Order Champagne. This one has notes of raspberry, mandarin, jasmine, patchouli, and vanilla. So this, another, starting off kind of sweet and fruity. You got your jasmine in there, and then ending up with vanilla. So I'm going to spray it on the other hand. Again, it looks just like the others. Here we go. I feel like the patchouli came through. I'm getting fruity as well, so definitely getting the fruit. But the patchouli is coming through as well. Not super strong, not overpowering, but I definitely know that it's there. This is giving me more sweet floral though. So like the fruits, the raspberry, mandarin, and then jasmine are coming, and then I'm getting the patchouli kind of coming in like in the mix, but you're also getting that fruity floral. So that's initial impression. So again, we'll leave that sitting for a moment. And yeah, both of these I think are good choices. I've gotten pretty good with my perfumes and knowing what I like and what things I think are going to work well with my body chemistry. And that's something to also remember if you're new to perfumes. What smells good on one person may not smell the same way on you, just because it's how the perfume itself mixes with your body chemistry, and that can impact the scent. Also, when it comes to longevity, there are lots of tricks and tips that you can do, and Scentbird also will send you some of those when you first sign up. So I do like that Scentbird kind of keeps ongoing communication. They send out little things like that, and they do have a lot of specials with fragrances and things that you can try. And for those of you who are a little bit on the bougie side, my upper class, I'm spending $400 a bottle. Girlies, $200, $300, $400 a bottle. They do have those types of fragrances as well. Just a couple brands I think of off top. Ciliage, they have fragrances from them. And they also have like Delina, which I believe is one of the popular ones that people have been going crazy about. So those are available as well. Some of those fragrances you do have to pay an additional $10 because they're like the luxe, super luxe ones. So that would make, say, if you're doing one vial a month, you would be paying $26. But that's still $26 for a luxury perfume. Not bad at all, and still probably cheaper than the travel size if you went into the store. Like for example, Tom Ford, most of their travel sizes are like $50. So even if you're paying $26, that's like half price. So it really can be better when you do things like that. And honestly, for me, I think moving forward, I'm going to focus on brands that either I know I can't access in the store, and I mean any store where they typically sell fragrances. I typically get them from Ulta or Sephora. But anywhere that I can't just walk in the store and smell a sample, or if they just maybe don't have like travel sizes of those fragrances, I think that's what I'll use Scentbird for. What I wouldn't recommend is using Scentbird to get scents that you can go buy or try in a store. For example, they have fragrances, they have what I call everyday fragrances, like Ariana Grande's fragrances. I love them all. I have like most of the big bottles on my dresser as we speak. But like, that's an option that's on there. Now I guess if you've never smelled her stuff, you could, but you can also go in Ulta and smell her fragrances. So I wouldn't use Scentbird for things like that because you have access. So maybe if you don't have access to a store, but like, her stuff is pretty much everywhere, and you can even get the big bottles in like TJ Maxx, Ross, all those places as well. So it's a lot easier to get your hands on that and for a lower price. So it's not as big of a financial risk if you don't like it. And a lot of places do have pretty decent return policies on fragrances. So for example, with Ulta, like, you can buy it and try it a little bit and then take it back. Same with Sephora. And I mean, it has to be like maybe a third of the way used, or like up to half full. So I mean, you can really get it and try it and say like, oh, this didn't last or whatever, and return it. So it's not as big of a financial risk as say buying like a $200 or $300 bottle of perfume that you end up hating, and then you might get stuck with it. So I would use Scentbird for the upper scale perfumes, or for brands where things are more expensive. Like when we're talking $100+ a bottle, that's the kind of fragrances that I would use Scentbird for, and not so much my everyday, what I call everyday fragrances, meaning affordable fragrances that you can easily access, or that you can find in stores to go find a sample of without having to buy a travel size or whatever to see if you like it. So that's my recommendation. Those are my scents for this month. I like both of them. I definitely see myself wearing these, and I'll be keeping an eye out on the Confessions of a Rebel website, because I did start digging around for them and I found them. So I think those are some that I may look into purchasing again, getting the trial set and all of that. So Scentbird helped me discover a new line, because I had never heard of Confessions of a Rebel prior to being on Scentbird, and now I have 2 fragrances from them and I really love them. So I would recommend Scentbird if you truly are looking to maybe expand your fragrance collection in terms of things that you don't necessarily see in the store every day. Or if you are completely new to fragrances and you're like, hey, I need to learn what I like and just kind of see what's out there, because you don't know. And they do have a lot of the popular brands: Dolce & Gabbana, Gucci, Prada, Valentino. You can get all of those things from Scentbird as well, the ones that you know and love. And then there's some other scents out there, or some other brands that maybe you haven't heard of, and you can also get access to those as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you have tried Scentbird or even one of the other fragrance subscription services, please let me know down below, and let me know what your experience or thoughts are about these particular fragrance subscription services. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.